You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when the cameras come for you? Yeah, he's been indicted for murder. South Carolina officers charged with murder of Walter Scott. And the usual suspects are running around attacking the police in general. That's like saying as a black guy kills a white person, all blacks are to blame, or because the Klan kills some black person, all whites are to blame. Again, it's more divide and conquer, which will put the police in their own gang mentality, the public in their own gang mentality. That's where the globalists want us in their divide and conquer strategy. But I tell you, if the cop wouldn't have tried to plant the taser on him, he could have said, I feared for my life, adrenaline got away from me, I thought they were turning back, I thought he had a gun in his hand. But no, then he would just got kicked off the force. Now he is going to get prison time, better get prison time. And I'm sorry, you know, if you shot a cop in the back like this, you'd get the death penalty. And I just think there'll be respect for the police again when there's fairness again. But I sure don't want my son or my father shot in the back. Guys, I forget, the statistics came out from the feds. Will you pull up that article from about 3 months ago? It had the headline, whites and Hispanics more likely to be shot by police than blacks. Because I want to show people those numbers, not just quote them from memory, because that's the fundamental issue here is, and we should come in with John Bound's piece. I said I'd get into his Phoenix report. We'll do that in the next segment. I got behind. We should do that John Bound intro that he did a few years ago when they came out with the, it's one of the Motley Crue music, yeah, the Live Wire paralleling Death Race 2000 with David Carradine and Sylvester Stallone, an excellent B movie on a dystopic future. And in it, you get bonuses for wiping out men, women, and children and the elderly. And then you have these no-compromise targets that Homeland Security bought $2 million worth of. And the company said, look, Homeland Security asked for it. Women and children, you know, little kids, people in the shower, no hesitation targets. And yeah, in Vietnam, they started having these basically video games for the troops to instinctively shoot. And it made people go from 50% of the time pulling the trigger up close to about 100% or 95%. Now with instinctive shooting training, and I've done it. Back when I used to be in the guns big, before I even had a radio show, I used to go out in those police shooting contests that, quote, civilians could be part of. And if you wanted to win, you just don't think when the targets pop up. You shoot the bad guys, you go through the obstacle course. And I used to get in the top 10, 20 percentile, even though I only did it 6 or 7 times. The cops used to get so mad when like an 18-year-old was beating them. But I had better reflexes, obviously. Now I'd be terrible at it compared to when I was 18. But that's why soldiers are better when they're young, because just your reflexes are so fast, and you're stupid and don't think you can die, which also helps. But it's easy to second-guess the police because they're going to make a lot of mistakes. But you start giving them instinctive shooting, reflex shooting, training. I mean, somebody gets out of their car with a cell phone in their wallet, boom! I mean, they're shooting old ladies, they're shooting black people, they're shooting Hispanics, the black cops are shooting white people, whites are shooting blacks, blacks are shooting blacks. You've seen the footage comes out all the time of a black cop shooting black guy. And, you know, you'll see some guy run or start wrestling in L.A. and the black cop shoots him, and it's not a big issue because it's a black guy. I mean, it's a very serious situation out there, to say the least. But where it becomes somebody being hysterical or having buck fever, and again, that's what it's called when you go hunting and shoot a cow because you say it looked like a deer. There are people that you take hunting for the first time. They could be an executive, they could be a lawyer, they could be a really smart, competent person. You put them out on a deer stand, the sun comes up, and 500 yards away on somebody else's property, they shoot a cow. because it had horns. They thought they were antlers. And it's the same thing with a lot of these cops. They're just ready to kill somebody, not even because they're psychopaths, but because they're trained to pull that gun and pull that trigger. Introducing Secret 12, the new InfoWars Life vitamin B12 formulation. Secret 12 is a binary of nutramedical grade, bioavailable coenzyme forms of B12, methylcobalamin, the same kind used in B12 injections, and adenosylcobalamin. Secret 12 is simply taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Secure your revolutionary Secret 12 formula right now at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems. Introducing the new InfoWarsLife.com oil of oregano formulation. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market. Extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules. You will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. For all of recorded history, civilizations around the world praised the health benefits of silver. At InfoWars Life, our mission is to bring you the highest quality, purest, cleanest, effective colloidal silver on the market today for the lowest price available. You don't have to be a doctor to know. The fall and winter months are the most dangerous time of year in North America when it comes to you and your family's health. InfoWarsLife.com is very excited to announce our biggest run yet of Silver Bullet colloidal silver, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Now, InfoWarsLife.com has taken colloidal silver to the next level using a cutting-edge technique that is free of toxic artificial additives. Now more than ever, it's important to stock up on high-quality Silver Bullet from InfoWarsLife.com. No survival chest is complete without Silver Bullet. Secure your Silver Bullet today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Silver Bullet. The experts are clear. Sunlight, purified water, healthy non-GMO food, and having a good attitude is essential to a healthy immune system. But I go further with Super Nascent Iodine X2 from InfoWarsLife.com. 50% stronger than our original and revolutionary Nascent Iodine formula, coming from a deep earth crystal source that no other supplier has. Most other forms of iodine come from seaweed in areas plagued by Fukushima and other contaminants. Not our iodine. It comes from over 200 million-year-old crystal salt deposits and is tested and proven to be completely pure. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. See the informational videos. Read the information they're compiled. And for a limited time, when you use promo code NOW at checkout, you get an additional 5% off the entire family of InfoWarsLife.com products. Secure your Survival Shield X2 today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, we're here live. I'm your host, Alex Jones, on this Wednesday edition. We'll be back tonight, 7 o'clock Central with InfoWars Nightly News. Here's what I want to do ahead of a special guest joining us in the third hour today. Jerry Peterman, who heads up FukushimaUpdateReport.com. He interviews the scientists, the folks on the ground, the people at the universities doing the testing. We're going to be looking at mainstream news coming out. Fukushima radiation has reached North American shores, Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution says. Well, it's been reaching here, but now the actual sea debris is slamming in. And what we're going to do is review the fact that this is a whitewash. In fact, will you guys reprint me the stuff from 2 years ago about the tuna off San Diego with 3 times the safe level of cesium in it and stuff like that? The milk in Vermont with the cesium and other isotopes in it, because I want to really show you the anatomy of a whitewash. And I'm not trying to scare folks. The Northern Hemisphere had double the radiation from nuclear testing and from Chernobyl in '86. It's now basically triple. And we have those readings as well from the federal government and from Europe. So what changed? Why don't they care anymore? Simply amazing. Democrat says IRS can pay gun owners to turn in their guns. That ties into some huge illegal DEA news. And it ties into South Carolina officers charged with murder of Walter Scott. Shoots the person in the back for no reason. Plants a taser on him and claims that he tried to take the taser away. Premeditated. Frame up. Super evil. Super corrupt. And he got caught because somebody was videotaping it. And we'll also get into that article I mentioned with the statistics on cops are more likely to shoot whites or others over blacks. 2-to-1 study shows. Just to shatter this myth that the cops are out there hunting black people. No, the cops aren't responding in inner city black areas because they don't want to be set up and they don't want to lose their jobs. That's really the tragedy here. Black cops in Southside Chicago have some of the slowest response times out there because they don't want to be in the middle of it. So those are the facts. We're going to get to it. Huge news with Dick Cheney coming out. We played the clip earlier. The clip's on Infowars.com. Says President Obama wants to take America down. And sure, I would say Dick Cheney was taking the Bill of Rights and Constitution down and was terrible. And Obama used many of his power grabs to power grab as well. But it is true that Obama, whether it's devaluing the dollar or whether it's not blocking the Chinese investment bank or whether it is selling us out to Al-Qaeda or whether it's attacking and shutting down our power plants, I mean, George Bush didn't do that. Carbon taxes, you name it. If I wanted to shut America down and annihilate the working class, the middle class, this is exactly what I'd do. So we're going to be going over all of that coming up. But first off, to understand where military drills like Jade Helm to be conducted in August and September, if you want to understand where stuff like that comes from and why we're concerned, it's because they'll have a lot of legitimate decontamination drills, dirty bomb drills, which they're now announcing for the public consumption. But the nighttime drills, the practice taking over courthouses and police stations and capitals and things like that is in the John Warner Defense Authorization Act of 2007 to crush the states and legislatures or governors that are in rebellion. It says that. So it is a Lincoln-esque move to block the states if they try to block a treasonous federal takeover. And the federal government itself has been seized by the globalists. And if you want to understand Delta Force and the Navy SEALs and all these snatch and grab, door-kicking operations, where their number one enemy domestically, they're told in the public documents, this isn't even secret now, so there's no denying it, veterans, gun owners, libertarians, conservatives, pro-lifers. They've now added evangelicals. I mean, evangelicals are really nice people, and I was brought up quasi-evangelical. I went to some evangelical churches amongst Southern Baptists and Methodists, stuff like that. We went to a lot of different churches. But that's about as government worshiping as you're going to get going along with the system as evangelicals. They think the end of the world's any minute, so just go along with it. But that shows how they hate the faith itself and the love of Jesus Christ, because any deity can be above the government and above the state. And if your rights come from God, they can't come from Kim Jong-un, who the North Koreans pray for their lunches for. And in Venezuela, I didn't believe it 5 years ago when a Venezuelan programmer I know told me. And I believed him, but I couldn't believe it. Then it came out in mainstream news that on TV, they have morning prayers on their equivalent of Sesame Street. They got a puppet show. This was in mainstream news, where they pray to the current president and to the dead saint, because now he's dead. Back then, they would pray to Chavez to get their milk. Max Cabrera did a lot of programming work for us, and you know, his parents had a big private school there until the government took it over. He talked about his dad just, you know, refused. And then he was worried about persecution. He didn't want me to say his name, but later he said I could. And, I mean, they told him, his dad said, I am not going to have the kids pray to Chavez. And they would have them pray to Christ, and then they wouldn't get the milk and cereal. These are hungry kids